today I'm reviewing the EltaMD UV Elements Tinted Sunscreen. And really quick, I just want to say, purchase all these products with my own money. I'll never waste your time with sponsored ads or videos. So if you want to help support the channel, check out nobsbeauty.com. Check out my Patreon community or click on the Amazon link below. Okay, so lots of people asked me to review some EltaMD sunscreens, and they're probably their most popular one, their UV Clear SPF 46. Is one I reviewed, I believe it was last year, one of my favorite sunscreens of all time. And at the end of Sunscreen Week in my live stream, we'll kind of wrap up with lots of questions, interesting comments that were left throughout Sunscreen Week. And I believe that live stream will probably happen on May 2nd. So Sunscreen Week is alive and well. A lot of people, hopefully everyone can find a sunscreen that works for them out of this week. That's my goal of it. So anyway, so I've been kind of keeping track of interesting questions and comments, and if I didn't give a full detail response to it, I'll probably talk more about it in detail then. So stay tuned for that. So, okay, so EltaMD calls this a sunscreen that protects your skin from damaging UVA and UVB rays, which prevent your skin from premature signs of aging and burning. The tinted formula masks imperfections while shielding your skin from harmful environmental aggressors. Designed for daily use, this mineral sunscreen features a hydrating base to maintain moisture balance and comfort all skin types, even the most sensitive. Okay, so let's just go right to it. My first criteria, packaging. Love the packaging. I love a squeeze tube bottle with a pump at the end of it. That is my favorite packaging of all time for almost any product. I wish everything was packaged like this. It's just so easy to travel with. It's easy to stand up in a countertop, which my countertop is clean now, but it's easy for a cabinet. I just love it. It's easy to travel with as well. So, or you can just shove it in your drawer like this with everything else, and hopefully the drawer shuts. So, okay. My second criteria is alcohol, and this one does not contain any denatured or drying types of alcohol, so that's a great thing, especially for sensitive or dry skin. In terms of fragrance, this has no fragrance and no real noticeable scent at all. Although I do notice a lot of sunscreens that contain zinc and titanium have just a little bit of a, I don't know, just a little bit of a, like a scent of like a, I can't even describe it, like a cake or something. It just smells like baking powder or flour, just a little bit. Just something, which is not really noticeable. Although I do notice it more at the Drunk Elephant sunscreens. I don't know why, but okay. The manufacturing location for this is the U.S., so no issues with that. The SPF for this one is 44, which is an interesting number, although they seem to go with that. All of EltaMD sunscreens have like a little bit of an off net, like 41 or 46 or 42 or 44. Just a little bit different. So this one's an SPF of 44. I don't know why not 45, but 44. Which is great because that's higher than the 30 that I recommend every day. Then when we get to the UVA protection factor, they call this broad spectrum, which is the US. That's what they allow it to be called. Broad spectrum means it covers all the spectrums. It doesn't necessarily mean it does a great job at it. It just means it covers all the spectrums. Although this one, in my opinion, with the combination of zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, I'm satisfied that this provides pretty good UVA protection. So no real other issues with that. There's a lot of them in the US that say broad spectrum that, in my opinion, don't do that good of a job with UVA rays. This one, based on the percentages used, I am satisfied that this provides good coverage from UVA rays. Okay, and then we'll go into the filters. So 10% zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is a nice ingredient for broad spectrum protection. It protects against UVB and UVA rays. Is considered to be the broadest range sunscreen filter available today. It's also highly stable, non-irritating, so much so that zinc oxide also counts as a skin protectant and anti-irritant. I think it's used in like diaper rash creams too, quite often. So it's a reflector, so it doesn't absorb, it reflects the rays. Then we've got 5.5% titanium dioxide, which is also a UVA and UVB ray blocker. Gives a nice broad spectrum coverage and it's highly stable. It has pretty good protection. Not super good all the way through the UVA range, but then that's where the zinc oxide comes in as well. So titanium dioxide also has a great safety profile. So for those looking for a good mineral sunscreen, we've kind of got some of the good elements going on here. Then in terms of white cast, this is tinted. And tinted sunscreens can be hit or miss, just depending on what your skin color is. Those with very, very fair skin will notice it's a bit of a deep tint. So it might not be the most universal tint. Although for me, when I apply it to my face, the tint seems to blend in and it doesn't look odd. Although it gives me a bit of a tan look, I'll be honest, which I'm okay with. So no real issues with that, although those with very, very pale faces might not like it so much. Although sometimes even the more white cast might make them look even more pale. I'm pretty pale though. So anyway, although on my hand it's not the most universal tint I've ever seen. So, okay. So then we get to texture. And the texture of this is kind of a gel texture almost. And it feels really nice. It smooths over skin pretty easily. And gosh, 2 layers of it make my hand look even more tan. Wow. I don't know. That's pretty noticeable. I can't imagine. You know, when I used it on my face, it just didn't look that bad. But when I look at it on my hand on the camera, on the TV camera thing, it's like noticeable. So, I don't know. Maybe I was walking around looking like a hot mess for a month. Well, I've been doing that for so many years anyway, so. Okay. So, anyway, it sets to a nice matte finish that is non-sticky. So, there we go with that. Ease of use. Pretty easy to use. Since it's tinted and it doesn't have the white cast, you don't have to really smooth it into skin as much as some things that have a noticeable white cast. You really have to work to have it absorb into skin. It absorbs, doesn't have a tendency to pill, which is nice. It can seem to be a bit thick, especially with some thicker or super matte foundations. But if you have like a liquid foundation or a hydrating foundation, it applies a little bit easier. So super matte foundations or thicker foundations seem to take a bit of effort to apply with this. Thinner ones, more hydrating ones work pretty easily. So there we go. I got a very tan hand. Okay. Then we get to antioxidants and beneficial ingredients. And this one also is a little bit disappointing. We've got a lot of slip ingredients in here, a lot. Then we've got a few good things. Sodium hyaluronate, Ascorbyl palmitate, which is a fat-soluble form of vitamin C. And then we've got vitamin E. So those are the beneficial ingredients. Not the most impressive list. And it does contain a lot of silicone ingredients. Dimethicone, methicone, things like that. So I've been a little bit more excited if they would have included a few other goodies in there. But what am I going to do about it? Okay, then we get to acneogenic ingredients. And we've got some of the silicones that I mentioned, Dimethicone. Then the Ascorbyl palmitate is also an acneogenic ingredient, as well as vitamin E. And zinc oxide can be for some people, so something to keep in mind. So not a ton of acneogenic ingredients, but a few in there, especially with a short ingredient list. There's a bit in there. So, okay, animal testing with EltaMD. It's a gray area. Some sites list them as cruelty-free. Some sites list them as in the gray area, and some sites list them as not cruelty-free because they're owned by Colgate-Palmolive, which tests all their products on animals. EltaMD on their site says that they don't test except for when it's necessary by regulatory authorities. So they're in the gray area, and I emailed them so I can get official, is it a yes or is it a no? And I haven't heard back. So if I hear back, I'll update it. Overall, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. So if you have any info on it, let me know. Okay, performance. So my biggest disappointment with this product was how this performs over a long period of time. Like an 8-hour, a 6, 8, 10-hour day, how it performs. And for me, this has a tendency to become flaky and accentuate dry patches the longer I wear it. especially at the end of like an 8-hour day. Any dry flakes, things like that, are very noticeable after wearing this. And it's interesting that it does include some hydrating ingredients in here, but at the same time, it ends up making my skin look and feel dry. Even just on my hand, I can tell it's starting to look a little dry. So it looks good immediately after you apply it, but slowly towards the end of the day, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse looking. That might not necessarily be for those with oilier skin types. Perhaps it's just me with my dry skin. But even after wearing it for 5 to 6 hours, it looks bad at the end of the day. So something to keep in mind. Not something I would reach for instantly on any day. If I'd have 20 sunscreens, this would probably be one of the few ones that I would pick towards probably the very end, just because it does have a tendency to look bad towards the end of the day. Maybe in the summer it will start looking not as noticeable, but the weather's changing now, and even in the mid-60s, it still looks bad at the end of the day. So, I don't know. Kind of a bummer. Then we get to price, and this is a full size, which is 2 ounces, 60 milliliters, and it retails for about $35. That's assuming you don't get it on sale, but buy it on sale if you can. So overall, it costs about 58 cents per milliliter, making it one of the upper pricier options. Is that a word? Upper pricier? Like mid-price? Like mid-high price, but not super high? Whatever. Anyway, so it's not the cheapest one. It's not the most expensive one, but it's not super affordable. Anyway, especially when it does take a thicker layer to apply. So anyway, out of 15, this got a 12, which is nice to see, but I still wouldn't reach for it unless I was desperate. But you know what? I'll give it another whirl when the humid summer comes around soon, and hopefully my results will be a little bit better. So anyway, I'm interested in hearing from you guys if you've had a chance to try this, or if you have a favorite EltaMD sunscreen. Certainly leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. And stay tuned for more tomorrow. Thank you so much.